welcome back to Well Played, presented by The Skim. I'm Caroline Hendershot.
And I'm Blake Morgan. What's up, you guys? Caroline, how was your weekend? Tell me about everything. I see on my script it says making bread.
Oh, okay. I did make bread.
What? No way!
Okay, but I had the laziest weekend.
Same.
I think obviously it's January and it is frigid outside, so it's not really enticing to go out and about. But I just think that I am still in the recovery, post-football season mode where I'm just I was so busy. I need to just soak in every second of downtime that I have. So I did literally nothing. When I say nothing, I did zero.
But you made bread, so you didn't do nothing. But I made bread,
but it was like it was like bread for dummies, essentially. It was like you put the yeast, flour, and salt in a bowl.
Was it like a no-knead recipe?
Yes, no need. You put water in, done, put it in the oven.
Love that. But those honestly turn out really good.
It was banging.
Considering.
And I had soup with it last night, so it was delish. But no, I truly just laid on my couch all weekend, watched the football games. Yeah, I would say some friends came over to watch a football game one day, but then left, and so it was truly I had maybe 2 hours max of socialization.
Okay, I loved that about this weekend. Is my boyfriend and I had some semblance of social plans every night, but they were low key, and it was only a couple, maybe 2-3 hours long, and then we went home and then we watched Harry Potter because he's never seen Harry Potter before.
That's crazy.
I know. You know, it's actually so funny. Well, okay, his excuse is he's I'm not from here. I wasn't born here, bitch. What are you saying? I was born in Japan.
It's a great movie across the globe.
I know. I'm sure it's translated into Japanese as well. And yesterday we were talking to some guy who owned a cafe when we went to lunch or whatever. And we were talking about Inauguration Day, which was yesterday. And we were talking about what presidencies we remember first. And he was like, I remember the Gore-Bush rivalry back in the early 2000s.
Your boyfriend saying this or the owner?
Yeah, and I'm what the fuck are you saying? You've never seen Harry Potter, yet you're yeah, I remember Gore-Bush. Are you a 65-year-old man?
He is. He's closeted.
And
he's literally
closeted.
He's secretly a 65-year-old man.
Meanwhile, I'm I remember when Obama was elected, we watched the inauguration and class history was being made.
They rolled in the TV.
Yes, they did. Oh my God, TV. They don't make them like that anymore, do they?
Once again, we have no unique experiences.
No, zero original thoughts.
Zero. Negative.
But yes, resonate with that.
Did you enjoy your weekend of nothingness?
I loved it. Oh my God.
I know.
And it snowed.
Yes, it was cozy. Ugh, so lovely.
Yeah. And then last night, I was trying to buy tickets. It's funny you sent that Brittany Griner video this morning from her Unrivaled game. Context there is that she was just getting a mid-game interview.
Yep.
And
was yelling about the call the refs made
literally
mid-interview.
And she's I'm sorry. What was the question? But I was first year of the league, maybe I could score some tickets, go down to Florida for a little weekend trip, see some 3v3 basketball. They
How'd
were
that go?
$500.
Yeah.
They're sold out. I was shit, I should have
planned ahead.
Yeah. I should have seen this coming.
I mean, hey, if there's any last tickets that are just very cheap, you know
floating
who to
around.
send them to. But I feel as though I was reading an article about it the other day, and they were just talking about how good this is for WNBA players because it's bringing more attention. It's right during the free agency period in the WNBA, so it's a perfect opportunity to kind of not poach other players, but try to convince other players to come to your team kind of vibe. And
also it's interesting for the women who are participating because it's they're playing with who are typically, it's kind of like the Olympics, they're playing with people who are typically their rivals.
Exactly.
And so they're getting a lot of different experience. And it's really cool for them.
Yeah, I'm here
not
for
cool
it.
For me because I can't.
Not cool for you.
Go to a game.
Tough.
If anyone has any pity on a little girl named Blake Morgan, want to send her to Medley, Florida.
Just, I don't know, perhaps send a DM into our inboxes.
Yeah. Anyway, I guess we can get on with it.
I guess we can.
Yeah.
Since we really were kind of lame this weekend. Yeah. Don't have anything to share.
Didn't got much to talk about.
Yeah.
But make sure you're checking out our full show. We publish the video versions of these episodes on YouTube.
Yep.
Check it out on YouTube. Well Played.
Or search for Well Played on Spotify or Apple Podcasts because we're quite literally everywhere. You can't get rid of us.
Before we dive into our topics, though, what's your handle on social?
You were about to say
I just said Hendel.
You were about to say Hendel.
I know you so well.
It's at CG Hendy. Producer Sean is probably mad at me because I have not been posting a lot.
I noticed that. You've kind of gone dark.
I just am tired.
Yeah,
I'm
it's okay.
too busy being lame on my couch. Like, no one wants to see that.
No, I actually do.
Do you?
Au contraire.
Okay. Maybe I'll just send pictures to you then.
Okay.
What is your handle, or Hendel, as you like to say?
My handle is BLAAA4KZ. I got it back.
Yeah.
I was gone for a week or two, and then I stumbled a little last week.
Off. She's back, baby. Better than ever. Okay, love it. As always, we've prepared a roundup of our favorite stories dominating your feeds this week. It's time for Playing the Field. We begin Playing the Field with the Taylor Swift of basketball, Caitlin Clark, who attended the Chiefs' win on Saturday with none other than the Taylor Swift of music, Taylor Swift herself. The duo were spotted in Taylor's skybox, looking on as the world memed their every move. Blake, what was your reaction when you saw them together?
At first, it's like got to be hard to be famous because you're right. Like every single interaction they have, I've seen a billion times on like so many different social media accounts.
You know what I was really impressed with? Like, I think it just shows the level of her stardom. Taylor, like every time she went to go talk to Caitlyn, was like covering her side profile.
She knows.
Yeah, and like Caitlyn, I don't think was as well versed of like how often they were viewing that skybox, so she wasn't doing it as much. And I was like, whoa, she's on it.
I don't think Caitlyn knows.
Yeah,
the TikTok lip sync readers.
Oh yeah,
the lip readers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, they probably found a new platform at this point, but we'll get into that later.
Yep.
It also just reminded me of like, because we'll get into the history between Caitlyn and Taylor and how this friendship sort of came to be, but like, she's a big fan of Taylor Swift. It reminded me of just like, I don't know if you feel this way, but there are some people in my life who I think are too cool for me, so then I start like acting different. Like I'm not myself. I kind of like curtail all of this. It's an act.
Okay,
it's an act.
It's a great act.
Thank you. So with certain people, I just
quite the performer.
I pulled the curtain, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, you like
forward. I don't pull it back. I pull the curtain forward.
Yeah. Okay, you close the curtain.
Because I get nervous. I'm like, oh my god, I'm in the presence of greatness. So I think I felt like Taylor was kind of leading the interaction a lot, probably because Caitlyn was so nervous and like secretly fangirling.
I mean, I do have to say, I feel as though I don't get like kind of nervous a lot.
Lucky.
I mean, I wouldn't say that always works in my favor. I would say though, the one time that I was speechless when I was in Taylor Swift's presence.
When were you
she was at the Chiefs game when the Chiefs played the Jets, not this past season, last season, and she was at MetLife. I perhaps knew where people of higher status enter and exit out of.
Naturally.
So I happened to be in the area when she was exiting, and I did say, Taylor, and her bodyguard shut me down real fast. He was like, no.
Oh
and
my
I was
God.
like,
did she at least wave?
And she was like, hi. And I was like, I literally, no words.
Guys,
no
her
words
mouth
came
was
out.
just, her jaw was dropped.
Jaw hit the floor, couldn't speak. She's, and also like you think she's so gorgeous in every photo you see, prettier in person. Stunning.
It happens like that, you know?
So I get it, Caitlyn. Me and Caitlyn, same person.
no original experiences.
Like
but can I take you through a bit of
give
like
me the timeline?
It's really cute, and honestly, it's been a short timeline. It's only been like about 2 years in the making that their sort of friendship, their connections to each other have sort of started.
Okay, love it.
Okay, so picture this: October 2023.
Okay.
Perhaps a crisp fall day, wherever Caitlin Clark was with Aaliyah Boston, her future Fever teammate, who was giving an interview with her.
Okay.
And it was basically like a Taylor Swift themed interview the whole time. Like she was giving her little friendship bracelets with Taylor Swift titles on them throughout the interview. And she revealed in this interview that she was actually a newer Swiftie. She's like, I'm not a diehard, but I'm definitely getting into it. So that was only like 2 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah,
it was
only
2 years ago.
So that was October 2023. Christmas 2023. Caitlyn, she was still in college. She attended a Chiefs game, and she was just a few skyboxes over from Taylor. You know, she probably peeked out, gave her a little wave. And then she was interviewed after the game, and she was asked if she met Taylor, and she responded, quote, "She's a couple tiers above my level." Not so, Caitlyn.
Yeah.
2 years from then.
Don't tell yourself, Caitlyn.
So fast forward to September of last year, and we actually covered this on the show when Taylor posted her endorsement of Kamala. And then Caitlin Clark liked the post, and then they got fucking swept up in this flurry of people being like, the crazy endorsement. But she's like, nah, guys. I'm just encouraging you to vote.
Yes.
This is what I think, but you should just get out there.
I remember that.
You remember. Everybody does. So early November, Caitlin attends the Eras Tour, not once, but twice, 2 days in a row.
I get it.
You're like, I would be there if I were her.
Me too, girl.
In Indianapolis, and Travis Kelce actually gushed about seeing her there. And he was like, yeah, we're both Midwesterners, both athletes. He was just kind of gushing low key. So the Caitlin Clark admiration stars are just like us. Okay, so then early last month, Caitlin revealed that Taylor actually gave her 4 bags of Eras Tour merch.
Insane.
And personally invited her to attend a Chiefs game. But the thing with
What a
Taylor,
dream.
I was thinking about this. I was really getting in my head about it. I'm like, she probably tells people all the time that she'll like do this thing for them. And
I think she follows through.
that's what I mean.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm very impressed with the fact that, as we know, this past weekend, they were both seen in the skybox, kikiing it out, whispering. She even hugged Caitlin after a great play by Travis. It was like crazy.
Yeah, well, because didn't Caitlin Clark also went on the New Heights podcast with Taylor and
at the beginning of the year,
Travis and Jason
a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, a couple weeks ago. Yeah, so that kind of also helped. And people were like, "Oh, Caitlin Clark, she's just a bandwagon fan." No, she shot that down. She was like, "My dad has always been a Chiefs fan. I'm literally from the Midwest.
Yeah.
Give me a break.
Yeah.
I've been a day one Chiefs fan.
Right.
So goodbye.
Maybe not a
haters.
day one Swiftie, but at least a day one
Chiefs fan.
Yeah.
So
So yeah, it all came to fruition this past weekend.
that's just incredible.
in case you ever needed a deep dive into how they became friends.
I loved it. I loved every second of it, and honestly, hope to see more of that friendship.
Yeah, I actually, what I want to see is Taylor Swift on the sideline of a Fever game. Or
Oh, that would be sick.
any WNBA game. But
Taylor and Travis go to a Fever game.
Yes. I mean, Travis, he can come along, sure. But I want to see
He's
Taylor.
arm candy.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So hopefully in this new season, we'll see Taylor at a game.
Yeah, I would love that. But yeah, it was great to see her there. It was, I'm here for it. I love.
Wait, okay. I actually wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
Aside from Taylor, because I do think that if this had not happened, this would be your answer to this question I'm about to ask you. But like in the same way that Caitlin seemed a little nervous and like was holding herself back perhaps a bit.
Yes.
Because she was in the presence of greatness, in the presence of somebody she's a big fan of. Who would that person be for you?
Okay, for sure. Do you want me to give you one male, one female?
I don't care.
Okay. I'll give you male and then female.
Okay.
Chris Hemsworth, just because he's gorgeous.
Scott? Don't listen.
Scott knows.
Oh,
he's well aware. He's gorgeous and great actor. Love him. So that would be tough for me. But he's happily married, so that's fine. Also, I'm about to be. It's fine. It's fine. But I think for women, it would be Serena Williams because I have watched her literally since I can remember play tennis, and I am obsessed with like the aura she possessed on the court and like the type of athlete that she was. I think she would be like the nicest, most bubbly human on planet Earth, like off the court, obviously. But oh my God, she was a absolute killer on the court. She took like no prisoners. She was just, and she was such a stud. She's the GOAT for the reason. But yeah, that would be tough. I would not be this chatty. That would be tough for Caroline.
You'd be letting her steal the conversation.
Yes, ma'am. No, yep. Yeah, I would be very shy, which I
want to see that happen.
Hilarious. Okay, I don't. I mean, I want to see her and be her friend, but like, not
televised nationally.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Privacy of our own humble abodes.
Okay.
I know we referenced the hand over the mouth kind of whispering to Caitlin Clark. What do you think Taylor was saying?
I honestly, I don't know. I don't know what she was saying.
I saw so many memes.
I was going to say,
it.
it was so memed. I will say she has been well trained. She knows that the TikTok lip readers are listening. Well, not listening. They're looking. They're scouting. So she knows better than to
She knows they're elite at what they do.
But I did see a really funny meme that she was whispering like, "Oh, it's fine. They're gonna win. Like the refs, they got it in for."
Oh, like referencing that the Chiefs.
Yes.
Yeah.
They got the refs in their pocket.
Yeah, exactly.
Which we will get into later.
Yeah, that was
Why? Do you have any ideas about what she was saying?
No, it was probably something like so simple or just like so.
It always is.
Yeah.
It always is.
And like so not a big deal, but she's just like, butt out of my conversation. National media. Goodbye. I get it. Moving on to our next playing the field story. This one is barely sports. Stay with us. But one of the main players in the drama we're about to discuss, Ryan Reynolds, just bought his third soccer club. That's right. Reynolds, who has been very successful as the co-owner of Welsh football club Wrexham AFC with fellow actor Rob McElhenney, is now the co-owner of Colombian club La Equidad. Was that good?
I think it was.
Okay. I took Latin, not Spanish.
Right.
ESPN reported that Reynolds and McElhenney agreed to invest in La Equidad along with Eva Longoria, retired basketball player Sean Marion, baseball star Justin Verlander, and his wife Kate Upton. Of course, Reynolds is embroiled in a sordid tale along with his wife Blake Lively at the moment. But you know more about this Ends With Us drama than I do. So would you care to expand?
You know, part of me is like, this information has been forced upon me because it's just been everywhere.
It has been
Even
everywhere.
my own mother was like, over the holiday break, I was like, I'm just trying to kick back, relax, have my glass of wine. And this girl is in my ear about this drama. And she's like, I don't believe it. That New York accent too is coming through strong. But yes, I feel like we have to start maybe a bit further back than the holidays.
Yeah.
But to give you the most recent update, which we'll come back to at the end of my another history, timeline. Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, they have a new $400 million lawsuit filed against them by It Ends With Us co-star and director Justin Baldoni. Lively and Reynolds' legal team responded with the following statement. They said, "This latest lawsuit from Justin Baldoni, Wayfarer Studios, and its associates is another chapter in the abuser playbook. This is an age-old story. A woman speaks up with concrete evidence of sexual harassment and retaliation, and the abuser attempts to turn the tables on the victim."
Meanwhile, Baldoni's lawyer responded saying the mere fact that Miss Lively feels that she can publicly destroy Mr. Baldoni's reputation in an attempt to devastate his future career and then deny him or his team their own ability to defend themselves against her is preposterous.
It is kind of crazy. I feel like this saga has come so far, and it all started back in the summer. When the It Ends With Us movie came out, press tour was happening, everybody was noticing like Justin, not in any interviews with the other stars.
Right.
It was like all
He
by
was
himself.
kind of off to the side.
He was, off to the side. Also, all of his co-stars, except for like maybe one of them, unfollowed him on Instagram.
Right.
Which is, I feel like,
very telling.
I agree. And also, I think at the time during the press tour, Blake was catching flack for promoting the movie in a light that felt inappropriate given the subject matter was about domestic violence,
Correct, yep.
abuse, stuff like that. People were like, she's promoting her alcohol line and just talking about the fashion when that's like obviously not what this movie is about. So kind of messy on both sides. I think that's kind of the theme, as you will pick up on. It's been messy on both sides this whole time. That happened though, kind of people forgot about it. But then of course during the holidays, as I was saying, I was just trying to kick it and relax. No, ma'am. So right before the holidays, Blake Lively actually sued or filed a complaint and then turned into a lawsuit against Justin Baldoni and another male producer for sexual harassment.
Yep.
And saying that like Baldoni basically set out on a smear campaign against her. And so a couple of the things she alleged was like he walked in on her multiple times while she was breastfeeding. He improvised kisses. The producer like showed her a video of his wife's birth and tried to like get her to do a birthing scene nude. Yeah. Even if it wasn't pornographic in nature, it's just like, I don't want to, dog, I do not need to see your wife's vagina right now.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I got to keep it real with you. And then also what happened was in the middle of filming, they had to stop because of the strikes in Hollywood. And so during that period of time, Blake Lively apparently asked for kind of like guardrails to protect, just keep everyone safe on set because of these weird experiences she was having. And so they granted her that, and they like talked about the work environment. They're like, okay, let's make it better for everyone. Which to me, I feel like is almost, I'm not a lawyer, but that feels like in the middle of like, okay, I did something wrong.
Yeah.
Just in this case, like I did something wrong on set. Like, this is a way to make it better. So yeah, she filed that complaint right around the holidays. And then just after the New York Times published this really crazy like expose, I think it was called like titled like it was in quotes like "We Can Bury Anyone," like a Hollywood smear campaign. You know, and then it highlighted all the things that basically Baldoni and his crisis PR team that he hired right after the press campaign kind of did against Blake Lively. And I mean, what was your experience during this time when like the press stuff was going around? Were you getting like, were you hearing both sides of this crazy sort of saga, or like what was?
I feel like the first thing that I heard from everything was that the first I heard of it all was like Blake and Ryan Reynolds were like quote unquote hard to work with on set. Yeah. And then that interview of Blake Lively and that like journalist or interviewer went viral again on social media, and it was from like years and years ago. And to be fair, like she was a little snippy in it. So like, okay, let's call a spade a spade. But like, I don't know. I've never been like of that status where you're just getting all these questions all the time, whatever. So can't say that I would have responded better. I don't know. But, but it was so interesting. And then like a lot of people were coming kind of out of the woodwork being like, oh, Blake Lively this, Blake Lively that. She's mean, she's bad, she's evil, whatever. And then this comes out and I was like, oh, okay. But now, like, weren't there text messages with Baldoni and his crisis team kind of talking about, oh, we're crushing it on TikTok or something. Now we have to get to this platform. And then Baldoni was alleging those were fake now. I'm so like...
That's what the whole thing is. Exactly. Yeah. And so like what you were kind of saying about all this stuff about coming out about Blake being hard to work with, I mean, first of all, those things can be true. And she could have also been sexually harassed.
Totally.
Let's get that straight. But I also just think it speaks to the, like, if this was a smear campaign, like she is saying it is, it's just like you almost don't know what to believe is true. Because it's like, are those things true, or were they planted by people to make us all collectively like kind of gang up on her? And so that's the scary part for me is like, I don't know. So many people are just getting these impressions from this crazy smear campaign, and we don't even know. It's like happening so quietly.
Right.
It's across like all the social media platforms. In the New York Times thing, they talk about TikTok as like one of those avenues. Yeah, I don't know. It just got really crazy. And so after the article came out, Baldoni then sued the New York Times for like $250 million, alleging libel. So he sued the New York Times, and then literally like 5 days ago, he also sued Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, which it brings us back to Ryan Reynolds.
Yes.
For $400 million.
Insane.
And again, like what you were just talking about, the confusion with the text messages on both sides, honestly, because like the New York Times is saying one thing, Justin Baldoni's team is saying another thing. Again, it's just like we don't even really know what's going on. And I think it's really scary for us as, you know, consumers of the media when we're trying to like piece together like a narrative.
Yeah, I would love for like all of the information to be presented like very clearly and concisely for like
that's the thing. It's like I was trying to research it though, and it just seems like it's got spiraled so far out of control. And it sucks too because have you seen this movie?
I actually have.
Okay.
Because I read the book and the book was phenomenal. I thought the book was better. I know I'm one of those annoying people.
That's not annoying.
But yeah, it just like wasn't.
The reason I ask is because I haven't seen the movie. Majority of my friends have not seen this movie. And so it's like all this is happening for this movie that many people haven't even seen.
Yeah.
It's like reputational damage for Baldoni. For Blake Lively as well. And also she unfortunately, like I believe that she had this bad experience working on set, like a hostile working environment. Yeah. Ryan Reynolds obviously is getting swept into this too because he and Blake work on their projects like really closely together.
Yes.
Which is insane that for this movie that nobody even, I think it got watched because of this.
Definitely.
I think my takeaway, one of my takeaways.
Long story short.
Just one takeaway from this is that I don't blame Ryan Reynolds for his little business ventures outside of the industry.
100%.
Because all this, like, I genuinely don't know, like, what Blake Lively's career could look like after this, what Ryan Reynolds' career could look like after this in this specific industry of Hollywood, right? So him investing in the soccer team might not be a bad idea. Good time to, you know, maybe shift focus a bit.
I mean, you just saw all of those stars I listed, like, are all investing in soccer teams. It's just, like, I feel like soccer is the...
soccer specifically.
New girl on the block. Like, everyone wants to invest in her.
I know. In her. She's that girl.
I do think that it is tragic that it happened to begin with, and that we are at this point in time, like still discussing whether it's like true or not. Like that whole thing just makes me kind of sad inside. But the more you know, Ryan Reynolds, 3-time co-owner or partial owner of 3 different soccer teams.
And potential former Hollywood star. We shall see.
We shall see. Let's continue. We got to talk about the brief TikTok ban that happened this weekend and how it sent ripples through the sports media world. Starting with Coco Gauff, who unfortunately just lost her last match at the Australian Open. But before her match on Saturday, Gauff took a marker and wrote on the camera, "Rip TikTok USA."
I love that she's been like, she did that last week too with
yes.
What was it again? I can't remember. We talked about it on the
show.
show.
On the camera about like the LA fires, like sending love to LA or something. She's just been
writing like little messages on the camera. Man, I was looking forward to another one, but sorry, Coco. But anyway, in the meantime, the rest of TikTok braced itself for the impending ban, myself included. I don't know if you got your last hours of scrolling on Saturday.
I did.
Yeah.
It also, let the record show, it stopped working before midnight. I
know.
That's mean.
I was like really saving it for my nighttime, like
Me
in bed,
too. And
covers
then I got
over
cut
my
off
head.
Early.
Yeah. Anyway, so personalities like Angel Reese, Paige Buchers, and the Cavender twins, all obviously famous women's athletes, they've made names for themselves both on the court and also like on platforms. I mean, they've become personalities at this point, and each of them had something to say online before the ban took place.
What did you think of how quickly the ban lasted for?
I had problems with this.
Okay, tell me why.
So first of all, I feel like I'm comparing this whiplash. That's what I'm going to call it. It was a whiplash.
It was.
It was
an emotional roller coaster.
It was, and it felt like that stupid situationship you might have found yourself in like your early 20s.
Totally.
That guy is kind of a bum, but you, for some reason, you're just like, I'm gonna keep him around because who knows what's gonna happen,
and you kind of like him, so you're just like, I can't really get rid of him.
Yeah, and then you're like, you know what? You decide one day, you put your foot down.
Fine.
That was us putting our feet down.
I'm going to stand up for myself.
Yes, and I'm gonna get this guy out of my life.
Kick him to the curb,
and then boom,
knock, knock, knock.
He comes back.
Yep.
That's what that felt like to me. It felt like whiplash. And then, of course, you like kind of like are skeptically opening your arms, but a little bit guarded at the same time. Totally. That's how I feel right now.
Okay.
Like I have barely, because as we know, it came back.
Understandably so.
Have you touched the app since?
Kind of, but not in the same way.
That's what I mean. And so that's why I have a problem with it. I honestly wish they would have, I was kind of like happy to see it go.
Here's the thing. I can't help myself. I was like, oh, this is good for me because it's actually going to force me to not use this. Just use the app, period. And in the short amount of time that it was banned, I realized how much of a crutch it had become for me because I was like, oh, I just want to like scroll and aimlessly watch videos. You can't really do that the same on Reels. It's just not the same algorithm. Reels are a crazy world. But
not crazy in the same way as TikTok, which is I get upset about. Like it's way too
the algorithm is
curated.
Totally different. But yeah, I was just like, oh, I'm like quite literally addicted. So maybe it is a good time for me to exit stage left and just not. It was a great source where I was getting all my information though. Like it was keeping me up to date on like pop culture stuff, which I'm not always as in tune with.
I read the news, don't get me wrong, but I did like seeing all the news video content that came out of there personally. That said though, I got the TikTok ick when it came back.
Yeah,
I don't want it.
I understand what you mean.
I don't want it. I don't like the way it came back. I don't like the weird ceremonious declaration of like, President Trump saved us. First of all, he wasn't president yet. Let the record show. It was Sunday. It was just odd. It just felt very sketchy to me.
It was very odd. I will say, like, you brought up a great point in our meeting pre this episode about like, imagine the Paris Olympics without TikTok. Like what a miss that would have been because we got to know so many personalities through TikTok. And I really feel like female athletes really helped grow their own brand of themselves through TikTok.
That's so true.
It's just different than Instagram. It was a different platform. It felt more direct, like to the consumer kind of vibe.
This is what I mean too. And just the vibe. I think we can all agree on Instagram. I'm guilty. I haven't been the most casual on Instagram. On Reels, I'm just like, fuck it, we ball. Like I'm posting the most unhinged videos of myself.
You mean on TikTok?
Yeah.
Yeah.
versus
said on Reels, but it's
Instagram
okay.
Reels.
Yeah.
I'm like very
Curated.
curated.
Yeah, I get it.
I'm a different girl there.
It's a different vibe.
Yeah. And so I think what you're saying is like, yeah, on TikTok, these athletes could be their whole selves, not just like their athlete selves.
Yeah.
And put that on display. And it was really special. And that's why we got invested in people like Ilona Maher.
Totally.
The freaking chocolate chip muffin guy. I don't even know his name,
God,
but he became an icon. They literally had one of the famous bakeries in New York, I forget the name of it, but a really reputable bakery made the chocolate chip muffins because of him.
Yeah.
And just eating them in the Olympic Village.
Yeah, and we just got to see like so much inside
BTS.
BTS because of TikTok. And I don't know, maybe this will promote people to be like more not authentic, that's the wrong word, but it's just like show more on Instagram. And
we need to make Instagram casual. Make
Yeah.
Instagram casual again. I want it to be like 2012. Give me a sepia tone.
Nope, don't do that.
Border. No?
Maybe not that. But
Okay.
like just talk to me genuinely. You
Okay.
know? Yeah. You've gone too far.
I'm an extremist.
Yeah, classic. But yeah, RIP to the OG TikTok.
Oh, yeah, I think that's a good way to put it.
All right, we're continuing this episode of Well Played, as we do every week, with our roundup of all the NFL action you need to be talking about. It's time for Tuesday Morning Quarterback.
Taylor and Caitlin weren't the only people that people had their eyes on at this Chiefs game this past weekend. Some people had their eyes firmly planted on the field, obviously, so they could watch these men in black and white do their thing. Mm-hmm.
The referees.
The referees, not the players, the refs.
No.
Kind of crazy. So that's because, as has become common theme in postseason, many fans were expecting favorable calls from the refs on behalf of the defending champ Chiefs. Conspiracy theorists, they were not to be disappointed. I'm like into this story.
It's a lot of drama. With about 7 minutes remaining in the first quarter, the Texans got a big stop, forcing an incompletion from Mahomes. Moments later, the refs threw a controversial roughing the passer flag, prompting announcers Joe Buck and Troy Aikman to question the call, and even go so far as to advocate for the NFL to revisit the rule in the offseason.
That seems kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so Mahomes also appeared to flop on his way out of bounds later in the game, leading fans to cry foul once again. What do you think? What is going on?
This year specifically, it has been a very hot topic of quarterbacks because they have become very mobile over the last few years. Like, they have become very keen on rushing out of the pocket. So like you are going to typically, your prototypical, stereotypical quarterback back in the day.
Caveman.
Yep, drops back, throws the ball. That's it. You know?
Very simple.
Now they're very athletic and they're dropping back. They're looking to throw. No one's open. I'm going to run it myself, they say. And they just sprint down the field and they gain like 20 yards, whatever. You can't hit a quarterback in the same way you could hit a wide receiver or a tight end because they are the golden child of the family.
Prince. Yes.
And they are not to be messed with. So if you hit them too hard, if you land on them, if like all of these complications have become more popular as of later years in the NFL, you get a roughing the passer call. And so you have to be very careful as a defender on how you hit the quarterback, when you hit the quarterback. And might I add, it's very hard when you are playing full speed and you're not thinking, like you have to be thinking now. Instead, it used to just be like see ball, go get ball.
Literally caveman football.
Hit the hell out of the quarterback. And now it's more so like, okay, is he about to throw it? Do I still have time to hit him? I'm running full speed. How do I stop myself? I'm like almost 300 pounds. Like, so it's a lot of that going into it now.
A lot of philosophy.
So yeah, it's tough because now that they've become more mobile, a lot of players are like, since we can't hit them in the same way, we should shove them out of bounds. We should whatever, because this has happened multiple times this season. It looks like the quarterback is going to run out of bounds. And so the defenders kind of like don't touch him because they'll get called for it. And then he like jukes them and gets around them and gets another like 5 yards before getting tackled. So it's a whole thing, particularly this year. I feel like it's gained a lot of momentum.
Well, with the Chiefs in particular, I feel like.
Yes, well.
But everybody also hates the Chiefs, so.
Yeah.
Because they're good.
Part of it, yeah. So I would just say that the Chiefs have benefited in the past from calls that refs make. Particularly, let's think about like the last Super Bowl. They benefited from a call where it was like the game kind of got decided in a way. I forget if it was PI, pass interference, but it essentially helped set up a game-winning touchdown that like secured. And it was like a lot of people were mad because they were like, it was very ticky-tacky of the refs to call it, and the game shouldn't be decided by a call like that. You should let the better team win kind of thing. Yeah,
so you don't have to answer this. This might get cut. Do you think the refs really are in Patrick Mahomes' pocket?
Well, this is a really good question it's kind of broader. Do you believe that there is a script for the NFL? Remember that whole... Oh, actually, maybe you don't. There was a whole thing where people...
Fuck, is this a movie set?
Kinda. The people were convinced that the NFL was scripted because it just... Yeah.
Okay, that's like next level conspiracy that I can't get behind.
I don't know. Maybe I could convince you if I set up the... I'm just kidding. If I told you all of the theories that people have. But... I don't think that any refs are on anyone's side in particular. I just think that reffing there's human error in humans, obviously. So there's going to be human error with reffing. You can't replace them with like all instant replay. If you want that, then I don't know. There's a whole argument for both sides. But no, short answer is I don't think that the refs are in the Chiefs' pocket.
But she does.
Contrary to a lot of what the internet wants everyone to believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, but also, okay, did you see that freaking Brittany Mahomes, days after she's given birth, already back in the fucking stands?
That's called fandom, baby.
That's called
supporting her mans.
I love that. Good for her. Also, her jacket was really cute.
I didn't see it.
It was a very subtle, it had 15 on it. I'm
cute.
quite sure. It was just like a nice, simple white puffer.
Yeah.
Not quite a la Kristen Juszczyk, but with some nods, I would say.
I don't know if I could...
It was chill.
Oh, that is cute.
It's like tasteful.
Oh, yeah, it's
different.
It's understated. I like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if that could be me being post-birth. I think I'd be on the couch. Love you, honey.
Bye-bye.
Go, whatever. Also, I did see that one of the Chiefs cheerleaders shared that every time they go to the Super Bowl, the cheerleaders get matching tattoos.
That is wild.
You know I have a tattoo.
Wait.
I have a matching tattoo.
I didn't know this about you. I have 3 tattoos.
Surprise, shawty! I didn't know that you had 3 tattoos either.
Where's your tattoo?
My tattoo is like right on the side of my ribcage.
So you can't show it on camera.
I can't.
Mine is often on display here.
Oh, cute.
This one's never on display.
It's underneath your arm?
It's like right here.
Okay.
It's a little chili pepper. And then I have one on my lip.
Pardon?
Yeah, you want to see it?
Yeah.
Okay.
What does it say? Is it a word? Are you?
Yeah. Wow, I'm surprised you can still read it.
Yeah, you can still read it. It's very clear. Are you going to the mall later?
Babe, I went to Rutgers. Give me a break. Honestly, I'm surprised that they even did it because when I was looking... I almost had to think if I got it done with my fake ID, but that wouldn't make any... Wait.
Did you?
No, I got my ear pierced with my fake ID.
Okay. Thank you for admitting your crimes.
Oh my God. A lot of tattoo artists won't do it because it's like a stupid tattoo. Valid. But I got it with my former best friend. We're no longer best friends, but we're bonded. At least
tough.
our matching tattoo, though, is hidden.
That's tough.
I kind of forget it's there.
Do you feel like lip tattoos were a big thing when we were in college?
Yeah.
I don't know why.
It's just because it's something dumb to do. Yeah. And I did many a dumb things.
You have to.
This included.
Frontal lobe is still developing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Moving on to another NFL team questioning how things went wrong this weekend. The Ravens were moments away from tying their game against the Bills on Sunday when veteran tight end Mark Andrews dropped what could have been the game-tying 2-point conversion. Earlier in the fourth quarter, Andrews caught a big pass over the middle from Lamar Jackson and proceeded to fumble the ball. I know. I was really sad for him. Yeah.
Yeah. Now people are blaming Andrews for the loss.
Of course they are.
But... there's one large group, I might say, who still has his back. His team and his coaches. I mean, you love to see it.
Win together, lose together, baby.
Listen, yeah. After the game, Coach John Harbaugh said, quote, "There's nobody that has more heart and cares more and fights more than Mark. We wouldn't be here without Mark Andrews." Lamar also said, "I'm just as hurt as Mark. It's not his fault. All of us played a factor in that game. It's a team effort. We're not going to put that on Mark because he's been battling all season. How are you feeling about this? Do you agree with the locker room?
I completely agree. I think that obviously, like, that could have been the game-winning, game-tying, like, moment. And the fumble earlier, it just, like, kind of all snowballed. And I do understand that is his job, okay? I want to make that very clear. However, he's human, and he obviously didn't want to do that. Like, he wasn't trying to do that. So I feel absolutely terrible for him. He also didn't talk to the media. He wasn't made available for the media in the locker room afterwards. Yeah. Some people were heated about that. And I'm like,
why?
Give him a little bit of time to process, okay? And he will come out and speak
also,
about it.
I'm sorry, what's he going to say? Like, I dropped the ball. I did this, that, the other. Like, whatever. It doesn't change the outcome.
Right. Yeah. And I think sometimes, the reporters like just want to hear something.
Yeah.
But then it ends up getting picked apart. It's just like a whole
That's
thing.
what I mean.
It's also just like, let someone process a little bit. I get it's part of their job to talk to the media, but I don't know. There's like a little bit of understanding I feel like that people should have. I've never been in the camp of like, you need to answer my questions right now just because this is your job. Like that's not my vibe at all. Maybe because I have been an athlete that has lost by inches as Mark Andrews kind of did. And it is the worst feeling on the face of the planet, sends you into like a deep sadness. Yeah. And so I feel for him. Yeah.
On another note about teams that lost, all I have to say is I'm really sad the Lions lost. I was rooting for them.
I think a lot of people were sad the Lions lost.
Even
they were a very easy team to cheer for, particularly Dan Campbell, like him being on the 0 and like playing on the 0-16 Lions and then coaching the Lions to this like prolific historical playoff run. Very sad. I will say though that the Commanders were playing like they didn't have anything to lose, and that I think was what kind of did it for them. They were just like, no care in the world. We aren't seeded to win. We're playing the number 1 seed. Why not go take them down kind of thing. Tough. So I think a lot of people were shocked by that because they were all expecting them to go to the Super Bowl and expecting them to potentially even win the Super Bowl. So
holy shit.
Yeah. Crazy. All right, the Eagles showed up, however, big time at home in the snow against the Rams and pulled off a huge win. But it was Saquon, a.k.a. Snowquan Barkley, who showed out with the most 205 rushing yards and the biggest touchdown of the game.
That was crazy. I saw the NFL Films was filming.
Yes.
And they got that crazy, dramatic rush. It was wild. I kind of want to ask you... If you're comfortable sharing with the class, who you want to see in the Super Bowl.
Okay, quickly before that, I just have to say, like, Saquon, they played the Rams earlier in the season, the Eagles. He had a total of 534 yards from scrimmage against the Rams this season. 534 yards. That's like insane.
More than... I feel like benchmark, right?
It's insane. Like, in 2 games?
Yeah.
So you're averaging over 200 yards a game. He's crazy. So he's been having season of a lifetime. Very happy for him because he was obviously on a team that struggled before. Now he's thriving. He's very happy. And he's just showing up and showing out. Who do I want to see in the Super Bowl? I'll tell you who all of America wants to see in the Super Bowl. I think all of America wants to see the Bills play the Commanders in the Super Bowl. That is because obviously the Chiefs have won, and I think when you're at the top, you get a lot of haters. And I did see a tweet that said, I really don't want the Chiefs to go back to the Super Bowl because I can't take another Taylor Swift Super Bowl. And then I saw an incredible quote tweet that said, hey, she doesn't play football. Hope this helps. And I said, thank you very much. But I think that, so people obviously want the Bills to beat the Chiefs. They play this Sunday. That will be a crazy game, I'm sure, just with all the history there. And I think people are just rooting for the Commanders because Jaden Daniels' rookie season, he's just balling out. He's showing that he has like really established himself in the NFL. He can do this. Like, I know I've always talked about the struggles that rookies
face,
particularly at quarterback. And I think people really want to see those two teams square off. I will say the Eagles are kind of hot right now, so I don't know what that game will look like. But the Commanders, they're not supposed to be there, so it's like kind of anybody's ball game, you know? So interested to see what will play out this Sunday.
Well, okay, speaking of Sunday, I kind of wanted to do something a little different.
Oh, yes, you did.
Just to like have you break it down for a lay girl like me.
Layman's terms?
No, a lay girl, thank you.
What's a lay? Oh, sorry. I didn't catch on to that quickly enough.
A lay girl, a lay woman, if you might say. A lay woman's
terms. Yes. Okay. So let me summarize the characteristics of each of these 4 teams that we have left.
Yeah. Can you just like personify the 4 teams, please?
Okay. As high school characters.
Sure.
Okay. So the Chiefs are like the popular jock, but they're not the stereotypical like dumb bully one. Okay. They're just like a popular jock where everything always works out for them. You know, they win all the awards. They get the girl, Taylor Swift. And, you know, they just have it going on and they just never seem like they struggle. So those are the Chiefs. The Bills, they're the boy next door, positive connotation, who like was super shy, kind of nerdy growing up. And then he had to glow up the summer before he went to college.
Oh.
And like went on to campus, just owned himself and became like the hottest guy on his college campus.
And he's like, this guy is like not ashamed of his past. Like he embraces it. He's like, yeah, I was that guy.
But it makes him more well-rounded.
That's what I mean. Yeah, he's very
like,
humble.
Yeah, he's humble. He's not kind of showy in your face like I'm hot shit kind of thing. No. Okay. The Eagles, I'm saying they're the bully.
Okay.
But that's mostly because of that Eagles fan that was like horrific a couple weeks ago. I just think they're more so they personify the louder, more ostentatious, in your face type of character, you know? And their fan base owns that, which good for them.
Right.
Commanders, they are the new shy girl who everyone thought was kind of weird because like she didn't talk a lot, and then she comes into her own and is like beautiful and talented and can do all the things. Like think Gabriella from High School Musical. Like everyone was like, oh, weird new shy girl. And then she's like,
she opened her mouth.
I am the star of the mother freaking show.
She belted.
What's up?
Yeah.
So that's how I would summarize for the lay girls terms.
That was excellent.
Thank you so much. I hope it's relatable.
I think that helps.
Okay, good.
I think you will.
So after hearing that, who are you rooting for to see in like the Super Bowl matchup?
In case people haven't caught on at this point, like I'm just here for the fun,
for the drama.
I'm not that. I don't. I say the Jets are my team because it's my father's team, but like I said, I wanted the Lions to win. Blah blah blah.
Right. Okay. So Bills, Chiefs, Commanders, Eagles.
Okay, let's start there.
Yeah. Bills, Chiefs. Who you got?
Bills.
Okay. Understandable. Commanders, Eagles.
I mean, the obvious answer to me is Commanders.
Okay.
And then Bills. I guess I'm like America. You said that I want... All of America wants Bills Commanders. I guess I'm America. It's me.
That you are. It's me, America. Okay. We are closing out this edition of Tuesday Morning Quarterback with just a quick synopsis from the college football championship game that happened last night, where the Ohio State Buckeyes beat Notre Dame by a score of 34-23.
How does that make you feel?
Here's the thing. They really ran away with it before halftime, and then Notre Dame kind of came back, and then Ohio State was just like, close the door on them. That's fine, you know? No, I'm just kidding. I'm actually happy for the players themselves, not the fan base, because the fan base is so annoying. But the players themselves, you know, you worked hard, you earned it. You won a natty. I couldn't win a natty when I was at school, and it was a dream of mine. So I'm very happy for them. I will say, though, it's got to hurt that one of those losses that they had this year, really tough because it came to the incredible, the great, the beautiful University of Michigan. So can't say like Michigan did last year, oh, we're 15-0, we're undefeated, and we won the natty, boom, mic drop, see ya.
Right.
Can't say that. So tough, you know, that your national championship year will always be remembered by the year
tainted by a loss.
Yeah. I do want to say one thing, and I'm trying not to be biased in this. It is kind of funny.
I have to say, your bias is showing. Just run with it.
I just wanted to try to preface. I do have to say that it is kind of hilarious how everyone in the fan base was calling for Ryan Day to get fired after the Michigan loss and like flag planting to be banned and blah, 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 blah. And now they're like kissing the ground that Ryan Day walks on. So I would just like to say, if you were one of those very flippant fans, just have a moment of self-reflection because you should stick with your team through the highs and the lows. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, Caroline.
That's it. I'm being big right now, okay? You should be proud of me. All right, it's time to close out the episode with a round of Send It. As always, Send It features 4 of our favorite viral moments from the week that you should be sending to your group chat. Blake, I will let you do the honors. Go ahead, girl.
Okay, I'm nominating Ilona Maher. She broke her nose.
Yes.
In her game. It wasn't just for funsies. She broke it at a rugby game for the Bristol Bears. And she was just like, guys, stop fighting over me. Like, I know I'm so gorgeous. As she has like this black and blue nose.
She's hilarious.
Icon.
Yep.
She's so funny. The self-aware queen. We all needed. We didn't know we needed, but we needed.
Just like, ow. It looked so painful.
Yes. Definitely a little inflamed.
Yep. Just a tad.
Yeah. I would like to send an ice pack to her.
But she's hilarious,
So
as
funny.
always. Okay, next up on Send It, our golden retriever, Josh Allen. After a huge win in the Bills locker room, he was just like, oh my God, you have to see this video. He's the only person in the room to clap for his coach praising the team's fundamentals. It seems like,
He was waiting.
Yes, his coach is like giving a speech. He's kind of like almost waiting for the team to fill in like the blank. And I forget exactly verbatim what he's saying, but he's just kind of saying his spiel, whatever. Josh Allen in the background is like this happy little boy.
His hands are
lit up.
hovering.
Yeah, his hands are hovering. He's just like waiting to clap. And then as soon as he stops talking, the coach, he's like, yeah. And the whole locker room laughs because it's just like so genuine with Josh Allen.
It felt like a moment from The Office or Parks and Rec.
Yeah,
like that was what that was giving.
Totally, yeah.
Excited little Leslie Knope. You know what I mean?
Yep.
My turn to nominate another Send It. So give it up for the guy who immediately hugged Ben Stiller courtside at the Knicks game when he completed a half court shot to win a car.
Yep, casual.
Yeah, and he just ran over to Ben. He was like, "I love you," and then he ran back into the flurry of people. Also, I'm going to a Knicks game tonight. Did I tell you?
Oh my God, no, you didn't.
Knicks Nets. I think the Knicks are going to win.
Okay, wow, love that. Maybe you too will be the proud owner of a
Wouldn't
car.
that be so cool if you guys saw me on like
That'd be pretty
viral video on Twitter? I'm talking like I've never used the internet before.
Thank you for calling that out. I was about to call you out on that. Jesus.
You might see me win a car tonight, guys.
Yeah. Last Send It of the day. This one might be a little not safe for work. We'll have to check in with Mr. Cameron Bynum, our patron saint of Send It Sellies. But did you see Lions running back Jameson Williams do some dirty dancing in the end zone after scoring a touchdown?
I did.
I saw a lot of videos online that said the captions were like, how much money will he be fined for this? The best part is like his teammate ran over to him and was like, get up, get off the ground, and like picked him up. So would you like to describe the video for those of not watching, or would you like to pass?
Yeah. Do you know the song Grind on Me?
Oh, yeah.
It's like, baby, grind on me.
Sing it, girl. Sing it, girl.
I have a past life as an R&B singer. He was basically just... He kind of went into like a yoga pose, like a flow vinyasa down to the floor, started like humping a bit. I think I saw a comment that was like, they didn't let him get more than 3 pumps.
Oh my Jesus.
And then they called it. That was when
then his teammate came over and
was like,
rescued
get
him.
up.
Yeah.
That's
he was
not
like,
right.
babes, up we go.
Yeah.
So there was a lot. What would you like to nominate?
I think I want to nominate that one actually because he's a little freak.
Of course you do. My winner, I think it has to be Josh Allen.
I knew it was going to be. We're so predictable.
He's so wholesome. Sorry, I
is.
love like a good.
You love a good guy.
I just love a good-hearted human. Like, sorry that he's just truly a golden retriever.
He exemplifies the vibe check you gave to the Bills, where he's just like,
exactly,
you know, humble king,
nice boy next door, humble king. Yeah. All right, that's it for this episode of Well Played, presented by The Skim. Thank you, as always, for listening to us.
We'll be back in the studio next Tuesday with another episode of Well Played. Make sure you're subscribed wherever you're listening. Please.
Yep, Blake, tell people where they can follow you.
Instagram at BLAAA4KZ.
Nice. You can follow me at CG Hendy.
That's her handle.
That's my handle. Be sure to leave us a rating and review wherever you're listening.
Check us out on YouTube. Well Played.
Or Apple Podcasts, Spotify.
All
We're
those
everywhere.
places.
Our Instagrams. I'll post more of me.
If you follow Caroline, she promises to post more.
Of me sitting on the couch doing nothing because
you said it yourself. You want Instagram to be authentic. So practice what you preach.
Okay, fine. I just don't find myself interesting.
I find you so interesting,
think
darling.
other people would find it interesting, you know? Okay. That's really sweet of you. Thank you so much. Until next time, thank you for listening to Well Played,
the only podcast in the League of Its Own.